Doug, thanks so much for joining me today and
Sure.
inviting us to your fantastic headquarters. Actually, the space is beautiful around here.
Thank you. We're very thrilled, and we haven't been in here long, but we sure are enjoying it.
Great, great. Well, a lot of big things have been happening with the planet. It's been 2 years since the merger, which was the last huge news that we've heard. What's been going on since then?
Well, the last 2 years, we've been really basically focused on the fundamentals, which is how do you take two distinct, different businesses that have been competitors and merge them. You need to build a management team. We needed to focus on our customers and make sure that the support that we were giving our customers was as good as anyone could do. Mm-hmm. And lastly, we needed to build a vision, one that the employees could buy into, and it would create a culture that would then sustain where we wanted to go. We've been pretty busy for the last 2 years.
Right. Well, speaking a bit on the merger, I mean, there's always little bumps here and there, but I hear yours has gone particularly well.
Well, just between you and me, as long as this doesn't get out, we've had some challenges. Mm-hmm. Anytime you take two very successful companies and put them together, you have the problem or the challenge of the way we used to do it in Dallas was this way, or the way we used to do it in Houston, and so you have the challenges of trying to find the best way. And there were some ruffled feathers when that happened. But what was really neat to see is that we're 2 years down the road, and we now have, I think, a company that is united around our vision. And hopefully, as you walk around our facilities today, you'll feel the thrill in the air, the sense of interest and passion at what we're trying to do, and it's taken 2 years to get there.
I've got to say I applaud you then, because some of the people I've spoken to that work at the Planet seem more than eager to come to work every day. I mean, how do you go about doing that to encourage that and to promote that kind of environment here?
We have a special drink in our liquid in our drink, Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid. No, I'll tell you, as corny as this sounds, I've told this to the management team the first time I pulled them together, and I told the company in our company meetings, but a lot of people probably don't remember this cartoon character, Fred Flintstone, but Fred Flintstone, when he wanted to make his car go, he would move his feet and say yabba dabba doo.
Right.
Well, what I tell employees and future employees is that all I want is when their feet swing out over their bed in the morning and they hit the floor, I want their feet starting to run to work. They don't have to say yabba dabba doo, but they have to think it. And the point being is we've tried to create a company, a culture, where people feel they can come to work and make a difference. Right. People love to go to work where they are challenged to make a difference. And there are so many places today where all you do is put the square peg in the square hole and the round peg in the round hole. And we've tried to find individuals that could come and teach us as well as lead us to do things, some of the new challenging things we're doing. So we've spent a lot of time molding and trying to create a culture that was sustaining and will take us into the future.
Great. As the company has been evolving, what are some of the new business opportunities the Planet has been taking a look at?
Well, that's a good question. So in order to answer that, let me just first back up and say what we needed to do and will always focus on is where we came from. We are a company that started in the shared business and moved into the dedicated. And that is our bread and butter today. It will be our bread and butter. Is where we get our strength from. However, what's happening is the customers are beginning to ask, in many ways, demand more from us than what we have been able to deliver for them. And this has given us a chance. We talk about the last 2 years, and basically what we spent that doing was building a foundation so that it was rock solid, that we could then begin to launch new services. Mm-hmm. And we are just about ready to launch some very exciting new products for the company. We will be moving more into the managed business area than we've ever been before. We will be doing it through the process of announcing a managed hosting product line as well as an advanced services product line. And that's just the beginning of some of the things we want to do.
Great, great. Well, you know, that's a pretty big change. How are you going about accommodating these kind of changes?
Good question. You know, there's two ways you can move into new businesses. One is organic, and the other one is, of course, inorganic.
Mm-hmm.
So we spent at least 18 months looking at companies that we could buy and assimilate into the company, or if we couldn't buy, that we then would have to build, which meant acquiring people that could build these for us. And so we've spent a good deal of time talking to a number of companies in the managed hosting space and realized that our best thing to do would be to hire the right people to come in and teach us. And this is something that we're trying to do as part of our culture, is that we are a continuous learning organization that every day we have to get smarter, because if we're not, our competition will be. We are the largest, we're growing the fastest, which makes for people to always look and take pot shots at us, and that means we got to stay on our toes.
Mm-hmm.
So in doing that, we have adopted a philosophy that if we don't have the DNA, as I call it, inside the company, we're either going to go acquire it or hire people.
So tell me, why is the planet moving towards this direction?
The business opportunity is huge. The managed space is growing at 35% a year, and there are very few people that are focused on the small to medium-sized businesses, which is where our sweet spot is.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take a look at customers are demanding it or wanting it, they feel comfortable outsourcing today. It's 75% cheaper to do it today than to do it in-house, and they sleep better. They get a better product, one that we, because of our size and our ability to build these world-class data centers and networks, they couldn't begin to afford to do that. And because we spread it across, you know, thousands of customers, they get a very, very good product for a very, very low price.
So considering the planet is constantly evolving, what can we expect to see from the company next?
Well, if I answered that, I couldn't let you leave the building. But so you're going to see us come out with the managed hosting piece. Mm-hmm. We've hired some people to build us a storage and recovery backup business. We're looking at accelerating our play in the exchange mail business. And eventually, all of that we hope to do this year, beginning of next year. And then there'll be some geography expansion where we'll look to begin to expand our wings outside of North America and into Europe and Asia.
Great.
So pretty aggressive plans over the course of the next 24 months.
Well, Doug, thanks so much for taking the time to tell me a little more about what the planet has been up to.
You're welcome.